This is CIA agent and certified dumbass Stan Smith attempting to overthrow the evil drug lord El Narco.
He's covered in rhino crap!
And here he is trying to blow up all of his coworkers.
Office grenade!
But the world's most destructive employee has done way worse than that. So today, we're going through all 21 seasons of American Dad to find out exactly how much Stan has cost the CIA, starting with the episode Cock of the Sleepwalk. See, Stan had just assassinated his 100th bad guy.
Congratulations, Smith! Wait, what's going on? That was your 100th kill! Get out of town!
Well, the real kill count is actually 99, but Bullock counted that dying guy Stan refused to donate bone marrow to. It was the perfect match as well. After eating 11 slices of cake and throwing up everywhere, Stan returns home feeling like a real man. However, that night his conscience splits in two, creating a sleepwalking alter ego who hates killing, and he's going to do everything in his power to make sure awake Stan never kills again. While Stan sleeps, Goody Two-Shoes Stan gets to work doing good deeds like watching The Notebook with Francine, turning the living room into a homeless shelter, and even adopting a kid. But of course, when Stan wakes up, he immediately reverts back to the absolute garbage person he truly is.
Daddy?
Oh no, what have I done? Oh, thank God it turned green.
Sick of squandering all his money away being kind, Stan makes an urgent appointment with Dr. Penguin. And spoiler alert, an alien who knows nothing about psychology can't help him get over these deep psychological issues. The next day, Bullock assigns Stan his next kill, a Belgium terrorist planning to blow up an IHOP, because they got nothing better to do, I guess. After checking into a hotel, seriously, an IHOP? Like, are you trying to bomb the least amount of people? Who's at IHOP these days? After checking into a hotel, Stan chains himself to the bed, hoping he can get some shut-eye without his sanity self-sabotaging tomorrow's kill. And that alter ego fought long and hard because the next morning, the room is completely trashed.
Just as I planned.
Stan tries to shoot the bomber from his hotel room window, but his good sides replaced all the bullets in the gun with gummy bears. The only way he's going to be able to take this guy down is if everyone he loves is inside the IHOP when the terrorist is about to attack. So the next day, he selfishly puts his family, an entire orphanage of children, a bunch of homeless people, and a shelter dog in a place he knows could be blown up any minute now. Right when his family are counting on him the most, Stan takes a nap. His good alter ego then takes over, and let me tell you, that guy murders even more brutally than the regular Stan.
Please don't make me do it! Come on now, I'm giving you a chance here. This is terrible. You're hurting us both almost equally. Nobody's winning here. This is awful. Aw, gee whiz. Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. Ah, it's over.
Now let's talk about the CIA headquarters flagpole and entrance sign. You know, the one Stan has crashed into 345 times. He's only gotten away with 344 of these accidents, though, because he got busted in the episode Haley Was a Girl Scout.
You can't touch me. I outrank you. Catch me, Dimitri!
A judge sentenced Stan to 50 hours cleaning outhouses for that, but I'm more shocked that he still has a job after costing the CIA at least 50 grand worth of property damage on his commute to work alone. Apart from that one time he took Steve bowling.
My God, the lumberjack has been stabbed!
Stan has basically missed out on all of his son's childhood. In the episode Virtual Insanity, he's desperate to start bonding, but Steve is only interested in getting girls, not hanging out with his old pops. This is a perfect opportunity for Stan to use that concerning avatar the CIA owns of a teenage girl.
We should go out tomorrow, get to know each other.
Tomorrow? Sure! I mean, just let me check my schedule. You know what? I can move some stuff around.
Perfect.
Wow, I don't believe it. This is too good to be real.
Of course this is real. And this is really happening. Because this is real. Really real.
Steve unknowingly spends some quality father-son time at a ball game, and Stan can't believe how close the two of them are getting. Really.
Good night, kiddo. It's been a blast.
Yeah, it was great. Good night.
Stan begins skipping merrily back to the CIA, and now I don't know what these avatars are made of, but they sure as hell are stronger than his massive jaw. Stan going on a date with his own son is already creepy enough, but this is seriously crossing the line.
If you go to the dance with me, I'll with you.
Okay!
I will be locked in eye contact with my son while he plows my cyber soil.
On the night of the dance, Stan seduces Steve with surprisingly good twerking skills. And he's just so excited to be there for the biggest moment of his son's life, losing his virginity to him. When Bullock tells Francine that her creep of a husband's about to be remotely pummeled by his own son, she goes to the dance and kicks the tar out of him using a CIA robot. And honestly, it sucks that the real Stan didn't feel any of the pain. Of all the terrible stuff he's done to his family, trying to commit sci-fi style with Steve has got to be up there. Steve is a scrawny little bully magnet with a regular-sized chin, so it's hard for him to live up to his father's expectations. In the episode Buck Wild, the teen wants to prove once and for all that he's a real man, so he sneakily follows his dad on the CIA's annual hunting trip and ends up killing 2 deers with 1 shot. Stan is thrilled and throws a coming-out party to celebrate his son becoming a man.
With 1 shot, he slays not 1, not 2, not 3, 4 deer.
The next day, Steve mysteriously disappears, and Stan just assumes his 14-year-old son moved to Montana, found a wife, and now works down a copper mine. You know, grown man things. In reality, Steve felt so guilty about killing 2 innocent animals that he ran away to the woods to raise the 2 deer he left orphaned. Time goes by super fast because now it's time for the next CIA annual hunting trip. A war breaks out between Steve and the CIA, and as the teen spent an entire year teaching his babies to dodge bullets, Stan's ruthless attack against his own grandchild majorly backfires. A whole army of forest creatures show up to fight the bastards trying to kill them, and pretty soon the entire CIA campground is up in flames and the real men are running away from chipmunks. Stan stands his ground, but is so bad at hunting that he gets disarmed by a deer. I feel that. I mean, what? I'm a real man. The deer lets him go out of kindness, and only then does Stan realize it's mercy that makes a man, not killing. That was a sweet ending to the episode. Still can't believe an entire year passed and nobody reported Steve missing. I would have at least expected Francine to maybe after like 3 months at least. In the episode Francine's Flashback, it's the Smiths' wedding anniversary, but Stan has no idea, and you'd really think he'd start to remember after that beating he took last year.
Oh yeah, this is my favorite part. Here it comes, here it comes, here it comes.
After leaving his wife to clean up his stuff, the world's most inconsiderate husband spends the whole day fishing with Bullock and his CIA buddies. The day is almost over when Stan finally remembers the anniversary, but surprising, Francine with Whitney Houston on cocaine 5 minutes before midnight isn't gonna make her any less pissed. To avoid being in the doghouse for the next 6 months, Stan knocks Francine unconscious and hooks her up to the CIA's memory erasing machine. Only the last 20 hours of her life was supposed to be erased, but the dial was on the wrong setting, so now she's forgotten the last 20 years of her life.
The last 20 years of your wife's memory have been erased.
Go ahead and undo it.
Reverse brain erasing? That's just science fiction.
Kinda like the female.
If Francine sued the CIA for not only deleting her memories without permission, but idiotically erasing the last 20 years of her life, she'd be in for a major payout, I'd bargain. I'd say she'd get at least $1 million off them in a negligence settlement, which is great considering the only thing she's ever had in her purse is a brick.
I carry a brick in my purse, so I feel like I have something. And I had to steal the brick.
The CIA is big on DNA and even has their own cloning facility. Knowing how expensive it is to clone somebody, you'd think that Bullock would want this technology reserved for important missions only, not whatever stupid thing Stan Smith just woke up and decided to do one day. In the episode Son of Stan, Stan and Francine argue over who's the better parent, and they have a BMX race to see who gets to raise Steve their way. Stan loses. But the dude is so petty, he makes the CIA clone another Steve, one he vows to mold into his own buff, athletic, model student person.
This is a clone I had made at the CIA for me to raise how I like. I'm calling him Steve Areno.
Hi, Mom.
I also cloned world-famous comedian John Leguizamo.
Surprise, surprise, Stan's parenting doesn't turn Steve Areno into a model citizen at all, just a cat-eating psychopath with terrible acne. Relatable. I mean, what? But at least Stan tried to be a good parent to his cloned son. Speaking of clones and parenting, Stan once tried to teach Haley about history by cloning President James Garfield.
I took President Garfield's beard comb from the museum, extracted DNA from one of the hairs, then used the new CIA Regenesis lab to Jurassic Park him back to life.
Is it bad I didn't even know there was a President James Garfield? I only know the cat. I feel like I'm not the only one. Please tell me I'm not the only one who thinks. Every CIA agent gets their own country assigned to them for missions, and being the dumbest agent in the department stands responsible for a tiny little island named Isla. In the episode of Moon over Isla Island, Agent Smith has one job: get the general to sign a treaty with the US. If Stan pulls this off, Bullock will promote him and he'll finally get that helicopter he's always dreamed of, but you can always count on Agent Smith to screw everything up in the most bizarre of ways.
Come on, further! General? General! He's dead!
Yeah, Stan just killed the general by ramming a corn dog down his throat to prove it's not gay. He still got that chopper, but the CIA have got themselves a wrongful death lawsuit. That's a legal claim that can be brought forward when a death is caused by negligence, aka pure stupidity. And as Stan Smith is an agent working for the CIA, the general's embarrassing death would fall on their shoulders, and they could be forced to pay out a settlement as high as $10 million. Alrighty guys, we're halfway through the video right about now, and Stan Smith has already blown through $16,354,253 of the CIA's money. The fact he's still employed after causing all that chaos is honestly one of life's greatest mysteries. Anyway, now it's time for me to walk you through the rest of the absolutely bonkers carnage this dumb fricker's responsible for. Stan is so boring that his family would rather hide under the house and be tasered repeatedly than listen to the story of how he found a parking spot at Staples.
Don't you see how hurtful this is to me, Steve?
The next day, a colleague literally deafens himself to avoid listening to Stan's stories, so Agent Smith is left feeling lower than ever before. Bullock goes on vacation to an island full of swingers, leaving Stan to teach his class at the CIA Academy. In a room full of cadets thinking everything he says is important is exactly what Stan needs to get his confidence right on back.
I'll be back to teach tomorrow. I got kicked out for not jerking it in the steam room.
Stan's ego is too fragile to let this teaching job go, so he needs to keep Bullock on that South American island for as long as possible. Luckily, the CIA has plenty of spare missiles lying around.
That was the only ferry off the island! We're trapped!
Stan gets back to teaching groundbreaking secret agent stuff, like what movie did Professor Smith watch last night, and what is his favorite animal. That's about the time an angry parent called Miss Weinsteinopolis gatecrashes the class to complain about the ridiculous curriculum being taught to her son Dimitri, so Stan steps it up a notch by taking the kids on a real CIA mission to the iconic parking lot from his lame story.
Is this where we're gonna do our training jump?
No! This is the parking lot from my famous parking spot story. I thought seeing it from above could help you cadets see how insane the whole thing was, and how stupid my family is.
Luckily, nobody had to suffer from Stan's boring stories again because he lost his tongue on the job and Roger put it up his ass before paramedics could reattach it.
Don't worry, Stan. I'll keep your tongue safe. Got it, Stan. Come get it anytime.
Now I know why Stan only tells boring stories. All the crazy stuff that does happen to him is always so humiliating, he's too ashamed to breathe a word about it to anyone. Stan doesn't have any friends. I don't need to explain why. In the episode Dope and Faith, he begs God for a friend and the Lord unites him with Brett Morris, a patriotic, gun-loving Republican guy who's just as bigoted and obnoxious as he is. The two of them have a ball, paddleboarding and tossing dwarves. The next day they go boxing, but fun comes to a terrifying stop when Stan realizes his new friend is actually a godless heathen.
I don't believe in God.
Oh?
Stan, you okay?
Atheist!
Not wanting to be a friendless loser when he dies and goes to heaven, Stan is determined to convert Brett to Christianity. So determined, in fact, that he makes the CIA invent a machine that'll beam an image of God into Brett's mind. It didn't work out.
Yeah, we're gonna have to call you back.
Fine, I don't need science. That's exactly what I'm trying to disprove.
So, of course, Brett ends up converting to Satanism in the end. All that money the CIA spent building that stupid machine was all for naught. Rip to that guy, though. The economy becomes so bad in the episode Don't Look a Smith Horse in the Mouth that Francine is forced to start making her own tampons using stuffing from the couch. While the rest of the family suffers, Stan is content making zero sacrifices and refuses to sell his SUV despite it soaking up more than $400 each week in gas alone.
We lost all our savings in the market. We're living paycheck to paycheck.
I'll find a way to make some extra money.
Well, you better. If you don't, that SUV is O-U-T. G-O-T-I-T-H-U-H-H-U-H!
Instead of parting with his beloved car, Stan wastes his life savings buying a horse named Well I'll Be Son of a... See, the plan is to win the Langley Derby and make some serious cash in the process, but it's already an awful idea. And it only gets worse when the horse suffers a deeply traumatic experience in which no one is to blame.
This horse says you him.
You sick.
Now that his horse is too emotionally damaged to race, Stan's in serious danger of losing the horse. But he has one more dumb idea up his sleeve and marches straight to the CIA to literally switch brains with the horse he...
But now with my mind in its body, I'm gonna win that race. Wait, aren't we forgetting something?
Oh, yeah.
Stan ended up winning the Derby, so I guess his dumb idea wasn't so dumb after all. Nah, it was still... In Stan Smith's delusional mind, he's the most amazing human being to ever exist. While he's perfect with a capital P, his family are a bitter disappointment. They'd be much better people if they were more like him, so in the episode Dancing With Myself, he literally alters their DNA using CIA gene editing technology.
Your DNA is ready for injection. You may now play God.
Someone has to.
The DNA he forcibly injects them with works incredibly fast, and the next morning, Steve is busy getting ripped, and Haley is leaving 1-star reviews for businesses she's never even visited. 4 jackasses in one family is already bad enough, but Stan's DNA ends up spreading across all of Langley Falls and Chimedale, creating a literal Standemic of big-jawed jerks trying to beat each other up.
Good morning, USA!
They've CRISPR'd the whole town. I only hope I have time to warn Chimdale.
Both Langley Falls and Chimedale are large towns, so 100,000 seems like a fair estimate of how many people fell victim to the CIA's gene-altering tech. Editing somebody's genes without their consent would be considered a type of assault, I would imagine, and as $75,000 is the average settlement for personal injury, that's a staggering $7,500,000,000 total compensation for all victims. The CIA is going to have to shell out big time, but Stan did actually get karma in the episode. He didn't go to jail or anything. The family just knocked his lights out and farted on him relentlessly. Turns out there are fates worse than death. Stan don't know jack about algebra, but he's too proud to ever admit that. So when Steve needs help with his math homework in the episode Guardian, Stan turns to the CIA's evil military supercomputer to ace questions he's too lazy to Google.
I am Guardian.
Whoa, you sound like a video game.
Yes.
Great, so I have some math here I'm hoping you could help me with.
Input at keyboard, mic, or camera. Completed.
What? It would take me twice that long.
Stan accidentally installs Guardian to his cell phone, and the AI spreads its virus across the entire globe. Steve and Stan get taken to the Pentagon, and when they arrive, Guardian hijacks the government's computer and demands all access to nuclear weapons so it can destroy humanity. Everyone is desperately trying to figure out a way to end this nightmare, and Stan's idea of ordering stuffed crust pizza definitely isn't going to help save the world. Breaking news reveals the Guardian has already blown up 4 international government facilities,
Holding the United States responsible for the destruction of the facility.
Squarely on American shoulders.
The government now has minutes to act before Guardian releases 900 missiles into the air. It looks like this is the end of humanity, but Stan suddenly remembers a meme Steve showed him that is so terrible it'll make Guardian commit... This was the meme in question, by the way.
Sticking out your gap where there is none.
There's such a disconnect.
Stop! What the hell is that?
Notice how Steve's post has 0 likes and 43 comments. Yeah, there's no way this kid ain't getting absolutely annihilated by cyberbullies. Stan was a raging homophobe in the earlier seasons of American Dad and actually kidnapped Greg and Terry's baby because he hated the idea of gay parents that much.
You can't give someone else's baby away!
Nebraska begs to differ. Gay couples have no legal rights there. Once I cross that state line, Greg and Terry can kiss their custody goodbye.
You're never gonna get away with this, Stan!
The writers definitely toned down his bigoted nature as the show went on, because in the episode Anchor Fran, Stan literally makes the CIA weather control conjure up a Category 6 storm just so Greg can fall in love with a new weather guy. The storm of the century ends up destroying all of Langley Falls, but Stan did at least one good deed, so I'm sure he slept very well that night.
You did it, baby.
We did it because we're helpers. It's just in our nature. We help.
At least 1,000 people probably perished in the storm too, and hopefully most of them died from the 200 miles per hour wind, not from the man-eating gators raining from the sky. After foiling Tearjerker's evil plan to make millions cry to death watching his sad Holocaust movie about a mentally impaired boy with a cancer-riddled puppy, Stan goes on a toe-sucking honeymoon with Pun, aka Francine. Agent Smith believes the alien perished in that volcano he fell into, however he survived to third-degree burns. There's no time to worry about that though, not when Black Villain is on the prowl.
Oh, damn. You killed my wife! You look ridiculous.
Ugh, gross. Okay, maybe it is a little funny. Bullock gives Stan the 411 on Black Villain, the vile scumbag plotting to flood the entire eastern seaboard just so he can turn his own house into a beachfront property. This is more than just a one-man job, so Stan teams up with Tearjerker, who's happy to get revenge on Black Villain for shooting him in the face and turning him in for his high school gym teacher.
What?
Stan gate crashes Black Villain's house party to get inside information, but ends up getting kidnapped instead. Now he's about to get killed by Paniqua, a black clone of Pun. The only way Stan will be able to escape is to make Pun remember being his wife. She always loved sucking his nasty fracking toes, so he kicks his socks off to try and jog her memory.
You better put those back! Well, you are about to die.
That's right. This is your last chance to get a taste of these piggies.
Oh my God, I remember it all. We had a life together.
Stan and want to arrive at Black Villain's house to stop him in his tracks, but he's cloned an entire army of Tearjerkers they'll need to fight off first. The aliens end up making out and killing each other, so now Black Villain must finish the job himself. Not wanting his wife to die again, Stan turns on Black Villain's tidal wave generator and escapes with fun on a magnet helicopter flown by agents. That's Steve. Black Villain then drowned to death, so Stan's mission was a success. It just sucks that the millions of other innocent civilians living on the eastern seaboard also lost their lives.
Oh, damn. No!
That tidal wave Stan just sent over the eastern seaboard decimated 14 entire states. 122,601,503 lives would have definitely been affected by this disaster at the very least. And assuming 50% of the population drowned, that's 61,300,751 wrongful death lawsuits the CIA has to answer for. Now throw approximately $50 trillion for the property damage to the equation, and Agent Smith has cost the CIA $663,7,510,000,000. And after tallying up the rest of the carnage we covered in this video, my calculations reveal that Stan Smith has cost the CIA a grand total of $663,041,989,204,253. If anyone deserves to be fired, it's this guy. And believe it or not, he's not even the worst criminal I've covered on this channel. Click the screen and find out how Stan's atrocities compare to these other characters' crimes. Thanks for watching. Peace.